Let me ask you something, and I want you to answer it honestly, at least to yourself. How much of your life are you currently spending on pause? Not resting, waiting. Waiting for the weekend, waiting for the season to change, waiting for the kids to grow up, the bills to disappear, or the timing to finally feel right. Somewhere along the way, many of us quietly decide that today is just a rehearsal and real life is scheduled for later. I'm 80 years old now, and if I could gently tap you on the shoulder through this screen, I would. Not to scare you, but to wake you up. Because I spent decades believing in later. I thought someday was a place I would eventually reach. Standing where I am now, I can tell you the truth. Someday is not a destination. It's a mirage. The faster you walk toward it, the further it seems to move away. Most people don't lose their lives in a dramatic moment. They slowly postpone them. They miss the messy, imperfect beauty of now while preparing for a future version of life that never quite arrives. They tell themselves they'll start living once things calm down, once everything is figured out, once they feel ready. But that moment rarely shows up the way we imagine it will. From the time we are young, we're trained to look ahead. The next grade, the next promotion, the next milestone. We're taught that happiness waits at the finish line, that once we arrive, everything will finally settle. I remember telling my wife in my 40s that once work slowed down, we'd really enjoy life. That busy season lasted most of our years together. I reached many of the goals I chased, but I also missed things I can never get back. I missed quiet afternoons. I missed the sound of my children's voices changing. I learned too late that peace doesn't live at the top of the mountain. If you can't find it in the climb, you won't find it when you reach the summit either. There is no final arrival, only movement. If you're waiting for perfect conditions before you allow yourself to live, you'll be waiting a very long time. Feeling ready is often just fear wearing a polite disguise. Fear loves the waiting room because nothing is risked there. Nothing fails, but nothing grows either. I've watched intelligent, creative people carry their best ideas all the way to the end of their lives because they were waiting for certainty. At 80, I can tell you this with confidence. Action creates confidence, not the other way around. Life belongs to those who are willing to begin before they feel prepared. Waiting does not make you safer. It only makes time quieter as it passes you by. Think of time like a daily allowance. Every morning, you're given a fixed number of seconds. You can't save them. You can't carry them forward. Whatever you don't use is gone. Most people live as if the supply is endless, promising themselves they'll focus on what matters later. But later doesn't collect interest. One day you reach for it, and the account is empty. Don't store your life for a future version of yourself. The only person who can live your life is the one breathing right now. We often think life is made of big moments, the celebrations, the milestones, the achievements. But life is what happens between those moments. It's the warmth of a cup in your hands, the sound of wind through trees, a laugh you didn't plan on. Through trees, a laugh you didn't plan on. When I look back now, I don't remember meetings or awards. I remember light on the walls. I remember familiar footsteps. I remember small moments I nearly rushed past. Waiting makes you blind to what's already here. You become a visitor in your own days. A meaningful life isn't built by collecting more milestones. It's built by being present where you already are. There's a quiet sadness in delayed joy. I've known people who worked their entire lives for a future they no longer knew how to enjoy. They had the freedom, but not the habit of joy. Joy is something you practice. If you don't use it now, it doesn't wait patiently for retirement. Find joy today, even if only for a few minutes, even if it's imperfect, even if it doesn't look impressive. I stand near the end of the waiting room now.
Behind me are years, some well used, many wasted. If I could give you one gift, it would be this realization: the door to your life is already open. You don't need permission. You don't need approval. You don't need everything figured out. You don't need a better version of yourself. This one is enough. Fear doesn't disappear. You carry it with you and move anyway. The world needs more people preparing to live. It needs people who are alive right now. My some days are nearly gone. Yours are not. You can close this video and return to waiting, or you can decide that the waiting room is closed. What is one thing you've been postponing? One conversation, one step, one small act. Do it now. Thank you for listening to someone who learned this lesson late, but hopes you won't have to. Your life has already begun.